Hi everybody, it's Amanda. Happy Thursday. We are almost done with April, so I hope you're all doing well. So today's yoga class is going to be a little different. I wanted to kind of switch it up a little bit. So today's class is going to be more focused on strength and flexibility. So we are going to do a series of different yoga poses, and we will be holding them for about 40 seconds and then followed by a 20-second break. So some of these poses you've done before, you've seen before, so they should look familiar. And they do range from beginner poses to a little bit more advanced. So just be mindful if something is a little challenging. I will try to show some modifications of that. So let's get started. So let's come to a nice comfortable seat. We'll start like we would normally do. Taking some nice deep breath in through your nose and out. And I always like to remind people of the questions that I always ask you guys. What am I grateful for? What beauty am I creating? What expectation of normal am I letting go of today? And if you can't think of anything to be grateful for, just be grateful for being here, for taking the time. And just know that I appreciate you guys tuning in, taking the time for yourself, for your mind, your body. Good. So you can find some relaxation today and throughout your week. So we're actually going to start standing on our first pose. So this first pose is called chair pose, Utkatasana. So you'll come to, I like to have about a sliver of space in between my toes. What we'll do is we'll bring the arms up, breathe in, and sink down, bringing the weight into your heels, like you're sitting down into a chair, and creating space between your shoulders and your neck, so you don't want to be scrunched up, standing tall. So again, from the side. Good. Taking about 6 deep breaths in each pose. Good, let's take 2 more breaths. Good, and 1 more breath. Good, breathe in, stand tall, and release. Remember, we rest for 20 seconds in between each pose. So I'll try to keep time here. Our next pose, so the first pose we did Utkatasana, chair pose. The second is Uttanasana, which is forward fold. So we'll start, we'll breathe in, arms overhead, and exhale, fold over your legs. And we're just gonna hold this here, because remember how I said today is all about strength and flexibility. So kind of feel where there's any discomfort. This is a really good stretch for your hamstrings, the back of the legs, and your calves, and also your back. Just let everything fall. If this is too challenging, always take a block and hold it here. Good. And let's release that up. Just slowly come on up. plank position. We're actually going to come back down, forward fold, and then step back, plank position. So we're going to hold this again 40 seconds, making sure our wrists are right below our shoulders. And want to make sure that our glutes are not raised to the ceiling. Nice straight line, straight back. Modification, drop the knees. We're still keeping that core tight. Think about pressing away from your mat. Don't want to really sink our shoulders. Keep holding here, one more breath. Good, release. Let's rest for a second. Rest in child's pose. Sink back into this. Child's pose, good. All right, let's come back up to plank. Next position, cobra. So we're gonna lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra. You lift your chest off the mat. Remember, we're holding. A little stretch, a little back bend. And stand tall. And breathe. Good, one more breath. Good, and rest and release. All right. Next pose, downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, you press into those heels, hips come up to the ceiling. Go easy here because this is an advanced move. It's difficult for many, so take it easy. Pedal your feet out. Maybe sway from side to side, that always feels good. Think about pressing those heels down. One more breath. And rest. You can lower down to tabletop or to child's pose. The next pose we're going to do is a one-legged downward facing dog. So this might be a new one for those who are beginners to my channel or my videos. So with that, get my timer going, 40 seconds. Downward facing dog. We'll lift our right leg up to the ceiling. Flex the foot and hold. Remember to breathe as we're doing this, so important. Feel that in the calves, building that strength. Such a good stretch. Let's do one more breath. And release that all out. You can come back down tabletop or child's pose to rest. The next pose, we're going to do the other side. So one-legged downward facing dog. Our left leg up into space. All right, let's do it. Okay. Downward facing dog. Left leg up. There you go. Continue to press that heel into your mat. Really press that leg up to the ceiling. If you're just right here, that's okay. But really think about extending that leg up. Making sure your hips are square. We don't want to be flaring open. Nice and straight. One more breath. Good, and release down. Take a breather. Okay, next we're going to hinge forward into forearm plank. Now for some of you, this might be difficult, so you can always have your knees down, but I'll show you the forearm version. Again, holding for 40 seconds. Plank. Again, like I said before, making sure our hips aren't up. Nice straight line. Really engage your core. Engaging your core will support your back. Sending energy into your heels. Again, you can come here. That's still going to work your core muscles as well. Nice straight back. Let's do one more breath. Good, release. That one's always a little bit of a doozy for the core. The next one we're gonna do, also gonna work the core, but our side abs are obliques. So we'll rest on our right elbow first. So first you just wanna check your position, and again I'll show you the modifications. Making sure that our shoulder's right over our elbow. We don't wanna be out here like we're watching TV. So like so. I'm gonna have my legs straight for this first one. Just press up. I like to have my hand at my hip. This is side plank. Very advanced move. Can be taxing on the shoulders. So be mindful of that. This is too challenging. You can just stay at regular plank. Or drop that right leg down to the mat. Still gonna get a workout in your obliques. One more breath. Good, and rest. We'll switch to the other side. So left arm on the mat. And check yourself. You're in a good position. Ready? And let's go plank. Think about from your crown all the way to your toes. You're in a nice straight line. There is a tendency to kind of sink a little bit as we get more tired. So really pressing like you have a string that's kind of pulling you up. Again, that modification, drop that leg, still getting that stretch, still getting that core workout. Good, one more breath. And release. All right, let's come back to center for a little breather. Hope we're feeling all right. Okay, let's get on our back now for bridge pose. We have our heels close to our glutes. And we press our hips up to the ceiling. If you got more of a stretch in your chest, you can stack your shoulders, kind of tuck them underneath. You press up your chest. Engage your glutes. Again, for this one too, if you feel you're sinking, engage your glutes, press your hips up. Good, keep moving, one more breath. And down, slowly release. Good, bring your knees to your chest as we rest. For the next pose, what do we have? Oh, okay, good. Let's come up to our feet again. Get you guys moving. One of my favorite poses are next. So, warrior one position. We're going to start with our right leg forward. Want to make sure we're in a pretty wide stance. I like to say as wide as our fingertips, so our fingertips are right over our feet. So warrior one position, right leg is facing forward. We have our back leg, it's actually rotated forward. So gotta get comfortable on my mat here. All right, so right leg facing forward, our back leg slightly rotated forward. And if it's parallel, that's more warrior two foot position. So warrior one is going to be facing a little more internally rotated, if that makes sense. All right, and with warrior one, we actually have our hands up by your ears. Good. And sink into this. Good, really pressing into that back heel. If your feet are a little bit too wide, you can bring them in just a tad. And I like to inch my front foot forward, so I'm keeping that knee right above my ankle. One more breath. And release. Good. You can rest for a few seconds. Next pose, warrior two. So we have our back leg is going to be parallel to the edge of our mat. Front leg, same position as warrior one. Our arms are come on to the side. You can gaze over your front fingertips. Good. Think about bringing our right knee to our right pinky, so really open up the hips. Good, one more breath. Whew, and release. I told you, really gonna work on that strength today. All right, the next pose, warrior three, a little bit more challenging. So, warrior three. I usually start warrior three actually in tree pose. So if you're in tree pose like so, you're gonna press your right leg back into, your left leg back into space, flex that foot. Slight bend in that right knee that you're balancing on, and bring your arms forward. Super engaged core. As we breathe, one more breath, and release. That one's really difficult to hold. Whew. So shake that out. Now we're going to switch to the other side for the warriors. So left leg facing forward. Remember, we come back to that warrior one. So then left leg facing forward. Can you get that knee right over your ankle? Back leg is angled slightly forward. And arms up by your ears. For every inhale, we're kind of lengthening, reach up. For every exhale, we're going to sink a little bit deeper. I don't know about you, but this is really working my legs. I wasn't kidding when I said strength, flexibility. Okay, one more inhale. And exhale. Alright, let's shake that out. Warrior 2. All we're changing is that back leg against parallel to the edge of our mat. A few more second rest. And let's do it. Warrior 2. Arms come out to the side. Gaze over those front fingertips. Warrior 2 is one of my favorites. Such a strong pose. It's kind of used as like a metaphor of how to tackle your day. Just solid, rooted. Good, one more breath. And release. Whew, shake that out. Let's give our legs a little bit of a break. We gotta get ready for our Warrior 3. Let's get into that pose. Some people will get into the pose from Warrior 2. They'll just lift up that back leg. That's an option too. But I prefer, if you're already in tree pose, bring that right knee forward, press back into space. Again, such a balance and strength. Flex that back foot, and bring arms forward. Not hinging those hips, keeping those hips straight too. You don't really want to have them come open. Nice in line. One more breath. Good, and release. Alrighty. Shake out those legs. Let's bring our feet out wide, hands to heart center, and let's squat down, Malasana. So the yogi squat. You have seen me do this a few times on this channel. It's one of my favorite yoga poses. Difficult though, so if you need to use a chair or a stool to squat on, I always like to have that as a modification. Let's hold this. Okay, we'll hold each pose 40 seconds. It's good for strength, good for flexibility, and it's good for the mind. Good to challenge ourselves. One more breath. And release. Let's come to tabletop. This one might feel pretty easy after all those other poses we did. So get comfortable in this pose. Again, I always like to emphasize shoulders over our wrists. Hips are evenly squared, about shoulder width. Take some nice, easy breaths. Good, one more breath. Good, and release. So we'll actually end our last pose, which again you can use as a rest, but of course it's also a pose, is Balasana, child's pose. You have your arms out in front of you, reach forward, or you have, so that's a wide-legged, or you can bring your knees in. Child's pose, you have your arms behind you. I personally like the wide leg. So knees wide, sink your hips down, reach forward. I feel like I get more of a stretch in my hips, my back. Let's take one more breath. And out. Good, let's come up to a seat. Back to how we started, kind of settle in a little bit. So I know that was a little bit of a different kind of class than what we're used to. Just trying to switch it up a little bit and just challenge yourself, you know? So holding different poses a little bit longer, followed by a little bit of a break. Just something different to try in yoga. So encourage you to try that again if you'd like. But next week I'll be back to a normal class. But of course I wanted to end today with a quote. And I like this one. So the quote goes, and again, I don't have the author. I will have to find it once I post this video. But it goes, I know you're sad, so I won't tell you to have a good day. Instead, I advise you to simply have a day. Stay alive, feed yourself well, wear comfortable clothes, and don't give up on yourself just yet. It'll get better. Until then, have a day. So let's bring our arms overhead, breathe in. Nice stretch and release. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, wonderful Thursday, and stay dry out there. I know it's been raining the last couple of days, but I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.